Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Murmuhu Paratatve Sadalino Ramakrishna Nyaya Yo Dharmastapanarato Vireshantan Namamyaham Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrabhyo Vamsharishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Adigurum Jagadvandyam Lokadisham Paratparam Navayuga Pravartaram Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Shri Sharadam Vishwamatam Shishyavrandam Cha Shodasham Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Yes, we will enter into the text today. We have seen almost all necessary basics of understanding, entering into this particular subject. Now, it begins with the introductory part in which Akhandam Satchidanandam Vāngmanasagocharam Akhandam Satchidanandam Avāngmanasagocharam Atmanam Akhiladharam Ashraye Bhishta Siddhaye. This is the first shloka. It begins the introductory shloka which is being expressed. I take refuge Akhandam Satchidanandam. Last word is Ashraye Abhishta Siddhaye. The last line of the shloka. Ashraye Abhishta Siddhaye. Ashraye, I take refuge in. Akhandam Satchidananda. What are we going? He is going to, the author Sadananda. In what is he going to take refuge? This is normal Hindu custom, wherein we begin by surrendering our ego. Anything we begin in our life is always with an attitude of surrender, where my ego doesn't come into picture. Especially a scriptural authority, when it is giving something which is giving as a spiritual light to the innumerable people, generations of generation, with authority of his own realization, then how does he begin? Even there, after realization, after enlightenment, there won't be ego. After surrender, it begins with the surrender of ego, spiritual life, and ends with egolessness. There is no ego in that person. There won't be ego. Still, as an example for others, first thing is, what we see is everywhere the presence of ego. This ego is going to harm, and it is not. It is the only thing which doesn't allow the grace, divine grace, to reach him. It's like heavily raining, and I am going with an umbrella. Such a heavy rain, water doesn't touch me. Like this, the ego is like an umbrella which doesn't allow the grace of God to descend upon us. So, in the spiritual life, when we begin, first thing is sanyama, self-control. How do you do? Perfect following of discipline. Where there is especially spiritual institutions, only religious institutions, at least there is a little concession. The times and things can be changed. In spiritual institutions, spiritual life, there is no alternative. There is no concession. There is no compromise. Something has to be done, has to be done. There is no alternative. So where do we catch? Discipline. Everywhere time fixed. Everything has to go in order. I must be prepared to accept that. First, when we enter into an institution, now Ramakrishna Math and Mission, we belong to that tradition, Shankaracharya's time. Shankaracharya's time onwards, we see this. Every sannyasi means he has a particular way of life to lead. For that, in our institution, long period of training is given. 9 years of sannyasa. Before sannyasa, he has to spend 9 years as a brahmachari with all limitations, with all regulations. Everything is regulated. Every movement, every thought, every feeling is controlled. So here we see there is no option. You cannot alter the rules and regulations. You cannot make use of your any intellect anywhere. Just obey and go till you get enlightenment. This is kept only to destroy the ego. Everywhere the ego has kartritva, bhoktritva and jnatritva. Doership, enjoyership and knowership. What do we know? Secular things. We know logic and reasoning, which we have learnt in the world. Worldly logic and worldly reasoning. It is not going to help us in our spiritual life, this knowledge. Then bhoktritva. Bhoktritva is always enjoyment seeking, comfort seeking, laziness, pramada, wrong understanding. With that we are holding on and leading our life. That has to be given up. The scriptural knowledge has to be acquired in knowing. Kartritva, bhoktritva, jnatritva. Jnatritva, what all I have known and know, and I want to know external, is of no use. It is ajnana only. What doesn't reveal God, what doesn't make me divine, is ajnana only. So, new life is begun with the scriptures. We are trying to enter that scriptural knowledge instead of the worldly knowledge. We are going to drop worldly logic and enter into the spiritual logic. The whole reasoning, worldly reasoning we drop away. All this worldly knowledge, worldly understanding, worldly relationships, all are transformed into compassion. Compassion for the suffering beings, running and working for others. What all I know, convert it into two important disciplines we have to develop is love of God and compassion for others. So, whatever I was in the world, everything is sacrificed for the love of God. And it's sacrificed and converted into compassion for others. Suffering mankind, for everybody is weeping within their sleeves, unable to express their feelings to others. So we convert it into jnatritva and begin the new scriptural studies under the Guru. Because our understanding background, what is taught by the Guru is not what is understood by the disciple. Because disciple is seeing from his background, Guru is telling from his background. Each one takes according to his understanding. And collective knowledge also doesn't give what Guru wants to tell. He has to pass through all the stages of evolution to reach that. Only everywhere hinting alone. And when they start walking, Guru moves with the disciple, making him reach higher and higher levels of understanding. So, bhoktritva, giving up all enjoyments and comforts of the body. We have to leave the comfort zone and emerge out. Intense activity, intense devotion, intense way of entering into meditation. Everything active and intense, active and intense. So there we get rid of the bhoktritva, and then bhoktritva, kartritva, doership, that we transfer to God. I am not the doer, you do. I place myself at your feet. I have offered myself at your feet. You guide. What should I do? What I should not do? You guide me. Because I don't know the Shastras also. So this understanding, how to surrender ego, kartritva, doership, what we do is, we cannot avoid work or shirk of the responsibilities and duties. And when we join the order, first thing given to us is Thakur Mother Swamiji's picture. And that we keep whole life with us, our life companion. Anything I have to go and tell, I will offer there. And whatever is my life, whatever mistakes I have done, or I might do, pardon me. Make me one with all, make me one with all. This is the constant prayer our elders teach us. One thing is, go on praying, make me one with all. And somehow the split comes into mind, because I want freedom everywhere. No freedom. Unless till you reach the peace, inner peace, you can't have the freedom. Everything must be restricted, because we will have worldly freedom. When I went to join the order, first thing Revered Vedānta Maharaj asked was, why do you want to? You have a beautiful job, you have your earnings, don't get married, you can do lot of sadhana outside. Why do you want to enter into a prison house? You have no freedom here. You are outside, you can eat anything, any time. If you feel like you want to go here, there, you have freedom. Here you cannot go out, you cannot break the disciplines of the mutt. Then I was pained, because I had prepared during my college days to renounce and come. And when this is happening, I told him, go down and told, if you find difficult to take me here, I will go to somewhere, Himalayas, alone and spend my life at the feet of God. Then he said, yes. We enter into a prison house of the ashrama and abide ourselves with all the rules and regulations, just because we don't want physical freedom. I have freedom of senses. Have you got freedom from senses? Have you got freedom from your own mind, your own senses, your own demands of the flesh? We have freedom to enjoy, but we have no freedom to exist. Then he explained why we are entering into a monastery. Why are we taking this upon ourselves? It is like taking a cross. The Christians, they say, take up the cross and follow me. It's a taking up a cross like Christ to walk for. So here we see the clear understanding that discipline, we begin with the discipline to curb every day, whole life woes. 5 o'clock I will sit for meditation. Yes, whatever happens, I am there at 5 o'clock. In case such a condition will never come, because it is free from all things, In such case, then I'll finish and go for my work. So that woe of life, I will never miss my exercises. I will never miss the classes. I will not miss the discipline of the ashrama, whatever happens. If I am fallen, if my legs are broken, I will drag the body to the meditation place, not miss it. So that kind of woe, Bhishma Pratigna, that we take up. From there it starts, curbing the ego. Last also, the ego may not shine or others may not get. I must be an example for others. Exemplary life. He wants to example how not to allow the ego to come in. Ashraye. I take refuge. Where? Akhandam Sachidanandam. I take refuge in the Akhanda Sachidananda. There is no division. It is seamless existence. There is no seam. There is no division. There is no compartments. There is no duality. One without a second. Akhandam. Akhandam Sachidanandam. Sat Chit Ananda. Existence, bliss. Existence, bliss. Consciousness, absolute. Or we translate into existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. As in existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute. Both are correct. Because jnana, the supreme jnana, Brahma jnana, and Brahma consciousness, Chaitanya and Brahma jnana are same. Ayamatma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam is also Brahma. The full knowledge itself is Brahman, Purna Jnana. So here we see a clear demarcation that the ego has to be dissolved at all times. Once you enter into spiritual life, whether you are a householder or a sannyasi or a brahmachari or a vanaprastha, whatever state of life you are leading, ego has to be dissolved. If you want Atma Jnana, if you want to lead a pure spiritual life, ego has to be destroyed. Wherever an opportunity comes that ego wants to manifest, curb it. Doesn't matter. Surrender. Surrender. Even to a donkey, surrender. If the ego is going to harm you, it is better we surrender. Accept our faults. Accept what is good. So, there we come into the Akhandam Sachidanandam, Avang Manasa Gocharam, how he Avang Manasa Gocharam. You cannot explain what it is, and senses cannot discern, understand, perceive, mind and vak, speech cannot explain, words cannot explain what it is. Whole Shastra is there. Whole Vedas are there, which is supposed to be the ultimate authority on knowledge of God. It cannot show what it is. Sri Ramakrishna says, short verse, darshane na pai. You could not get from 6 darshanas also, you cannot get the knowledge of God. In Vedas itself they tell, yatra vedaha avedaha. Where the Vedas become aveda, that you attain the jnana. Vedas have no more purpose. The Vedas were telling all this because you have to not seen. Once you have seen it, you have crossed all the limitations of this one. So Akhandam Sachidanandam, Satchitananda, we'll see in the tomorrow class. What is that Sachidananda? Do we experience any time beyond our 3 bodies, gross, subtle and causal? Every day nature takes me to the transcendental realm, separating from the entire nature in the 2nd stage of my deep sleep. I enter into individual consciousness, merges in the cosmic consciousness. There we see what is we are experiencing without our knowledge. whether nature is taking us. We cannot live or exist without going there and coming back every day. So nature takes us. We will see in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.